Slightly different video to usual, sitting here at the desk in the office. Why? Because I've been getting a question over and over again. Isaac, what gear do you use? Isaac, where's your color grade from? Isaac, what's tripod are you using? What lenses are you using? How are you editing? What's your all those questions, all valid questions. And the reason I'm making this video and making it with such urgency is because I was once in that position. I was watching other creators, that's work I liked, and I was asking these questions and I never got answers. And I understand the frustration because you have the passion, you have the want, you have the will to learn, you want to do it, you just feel like the truth is being kept from you. And I'm here to say this. One, I'm not a famous YouTuber. I'm not a famous creator. Look at this video, look at the views, look at my subscribers. I'm a nobody. And one of the reasons I hesitated to create this is because this process that I've built, this method that I use, is by no means perfect. There's so many other examples of creators out there that are absolutely smashing it. And they've got skin in the game. They've spent years on it. They've failed, they've retried, they've done it again, they've fixed things. They've got their version of how to run things, and it's correct and it's proven. Mine's not, but I wanted to get something out to you because there are people asking. So even if this helps 20 people, I know what spot you're in, so I want to help. And two, I don't want you to feel like I'm digging or saying bad things about these creators, because in my comments, which there's not many in the perspective of things, which I'll relate back to in a second, there's so many people asking these questions and I try to reply to every comment. You guys know this. I can't get to them all. And I'm sure there's 10, 15 people out there that have commented and think, why is he gatekeeping? Why is he not telling me? So I want this video to exist so it's hard form, so anyone can go watch it, anyone can go back to it. Wherever my journey as a content creator goes, this will live forever on the page. And to the point of those bigger creators, I understand your frustration. I reach out to those guys too. Like I say, I'm still learning, but they must have 100, 1,000x the comments that I have, so I can't even imagine, even if they're trying to get back to people. I don't know if they're gatekeeping. Not to say that some people aren't, I'm sure there are, but don't be frustrated at them. Hopefully this video can help just a little bit. So onto my gear. First and foremost, the head of the snake, the camera. Sony a7C II. Sony a7C II. It's such a tongue twister the way they do it, but I picked up this camera in Japan and it is a monster. I love it so much. I'm still learning a lot of it. There's a lot of time when my footage doesn't come out how I'd like it because I'm using it wrong. That's part of using a camera, and it's something that I'll preach to you guys throughout this. Your gear is not going to fix all your problems. However, this thing is great, and if used correctly, it's a beast. I feel like every one of my videos is getting better slowly and improving, which I aspire to do for the rest of my content career. But this camera is a Sony a7C II. Like I said, I got this in Japan. Funny story, when I bought this in Japan, it was actually on sale and it was $1,000 cheaper in Japan than it is in America. But when I got to the register, the guy said to me, hey, just a heads up, it's all in Japanese. And in my head, I'm thinking, that's not a big deal. I can just change it. But then I ChatGPT'd it, and what they actually do is region lock certain cameras, so you can't change the language on them. This is one of them. So this camera is indeed locked to Japanese. The whole menu is in Japanese. Every single thing on the camera is in Japanese, which for me wasn't a big deal. When I'm vlogging, I don't change my settings. I'm not someone that goes to crazy shoots and has to shoot in different frames, different formats, like whatever. I don't need to get in the nitty gritty of my camera menu often. The only time I really go in is if something goes wrong, like if the touchscreen goes off and I need to turn it back on, or if I need to switch to a different user lot, or whatever that may be. But because I'm usually vlogging, I'm usually in 4K, 30 frames a second, like forever. So it's pretty simple. I don't need to use it. So I thought I may as well just save the grand and do that. If you, one, speak Japanese, or two, are someone who completely understands the Sony menu, which if you've had a Sony for a while, I'm sure you probably memorized all the stuff that you need in the menu by now. So you don't really need to see what it says, you just memorize where it's at. If you're one of those two people, or if you're like me and don't need the menu as often, I recommend doing that. You'll save $1,000. If not, it's not worth saving $1,000. Get it in English. And on the topic of saving money, when I first started this YouTube channel, when I first started content creation, I was using this camera. It might look like a Sony FX3, but it's actually the Sony FX30. Basically, the Sony FX3's small little brother, still a cinema line camera, but it's a crop sensor instead of a full frame sensor. And this camera is amazing. I loved this camera so much. It went everywhere with me, all over the world, never missed, never let me down. I'm so happy I use this as my starter camera. And if you're someone that wants to get into content but doesn't want to spend 2-3 grand on a camera, this is a great place to start. I believe I picked this up for $1,400, $1,500 maybe, brand new. And not only do you save that like $1,000 on the front end, but when you buy lenses, which we'll get into, the lenses are way cheaper for APS-C cameras. So when you start building your ecosystem of lenses, camera, all that stuff, you're looking at saving like $2,000-$3,000 throughout the process at least. Definitely worth it, and it's a whole lot smaller too to have APS-C lenses. And like I said, I can't recommend it enough. It's never let me down. I am contemplating selling this. I might keep it as a B camera. I'm not sure, it's up in the air right now. I will let you guys know if I do sell it, because I'm sure there's some people on this channel that are wanting to get into content and need a good reliable camera, and as someone who's used this, I can't recommend it enough. I'm by no means claiming to be an expert. I don't know the ins and outs of the tech in these things. I know a little bit on the surface level from the research that I've done, but there are far more comprehensive videos out there on these cameras individually. If you are looking at spending $1,000 or some dollars on a camera, a lens, whatever it may be, do your research, do your due diligence, go find someone who's actually knowledgeable in that specific field and consult with them for advice. I can only tell you what's worked in my experience, very small and limited experience. I can tell you this thing's great. I've absolutely loved having this so far. That's all I can tell you. When it comes to super nitty-gritty specifics, there might be better cameras out there, I'm not sure. I'm not going to tell you these are the best things ever. I'm just going to say make sure you do your research. As for my recommendations, you've got them. Now, when it comes to lenses, I've owned 4 lenses. When I used to have this camera, like I said, the APS-C camera, I had 2 lenses with that. I had the 10 to 18 millimeter Sony. It was an f4, and I had the f2.8 18 to 50 millimeter Sigma lens. Both these guys were absolutely amazing. They never let me down. I guess the only complaint I may have is that this was an f4. Day to day, in the majority of situations, it's perfectly fine. You don't need any more. But at like nighttime or in more lower light situations, this started to struggle. The APS-C body started to struggle. And if you're not someone who's vlogging, if you're someone that can put a camera light up or go somewhere brighter or control the lighting in your environment, you're absolutely fine. That's not something you need to worry about. But in my situation, I was on the go a lot, so I wanted to upgrade from that. But in terms of these 2 lenses, they never let me down. This one is a 2.8 and it is absolutely amazing. I think it was $500. I don't know if there's a better lens, pound for pound, dollar for dollar. And I could say the same for this one. I picked this one up used for about $300. Together, they're great. This one lived on my camera about 85% of the time while I was vlogging, just because the 10mm is absolutely amazing to kind of get that arm stretch reach, the wider shots. And then this was amazing for like B-roll, close-ups. I sometimes used it in low light because it was a 2.8. This kind of filled the gap of needing that extra little bit of focal length in those situations. Now, when I bought this camera, I had to get new lenses because it's a full frame camera. So you have to get new lenses, bigger glass, bigger lenses, more expensive, and they're better, you could argue. Low light's better, bokeh's better, f-stop's more accurate. They're great, and I absolutely love these things. This thing is a 28 to 70 Sigma 2.8. Like the other 2 lenses, it's never let me down. It does the trick every time. The reason I carry it is for a little bit of extra focal length for some B-roll, if there's scenarios where I can't get too up close on personal or I need some more detailed shots. Back to talking about the difference between APS-C and full frame. Look at the size difference between those 2 lenses. They're essentially the same exact focal length and same exact aperture. They're the same exact lens for 2 different cameras. The size difference is this, and this one is about double the price of this one. So when it comes to saving money, APS-C and going that way is probably your best bet. Then last but not least, the lens that's on the camera right now, it's the one that everyone's raving about, and for good reason. It's the 16mm f1.8 G lens, and it's tough for me to gauge, but in my opinion, my quality went leaps and bounds when I upgraded. But I upgraded the 2 things at the same time. I upgraded the camera and the lens at the same time, so it's hard to point to which one was responsible for the upgrade. I think this plays a heavy part because this lens is amazing. 1.8 means it's great at low light, performs very well at night. This camera does just great. There's better low light cameras, but this one does just great, especially compared to my old camera. It blows it out the park. The autofocus is absolutely lightning fast, and it lives on my camera about 80% of the time. This one coming in for B-roll, just like I did on my old setup. I know this is a prime lens, so I don't have the pull. I actually set my camera up to have APS-C mode, which is like a crop mode. and I can hit one button and it crops in and crops out. So technically this operates as a 2 focal length lens, which is amazing, and it's something I use almost every day to get that extra little bit of punch when using a prime lens. So you can get all the benefits from prime, but still have the ability to punch in and out. So lens wise, that's what I'm rocking. Also, before I leave the lens line, on the rim of every lens, I have a Pro Mist filter. And you can see it on here maybe. It says Black Mist 1/4. All the other ones that I have are 1/8. I've always had them on these lenses too. The reason I have them is because I just got done talking about how expensive these things are. This is almost $1,000 lens if I remember correctly. That's almost exactly the same. And if you were ever in a situation where you dropped your lens, you scratched your lens, you put it in your pocket and it got damaged, you don't carry these lens caps all over the place. They're great and they sound good, but like feasibility wise, when you're vlogging and you're on the go and you're on the run, carrying a lens cap with you all the time is an absolute nightmare. So there are situations where your camera is exposed without its lens cap on, and having a $30 glass filter on the front means that if anything happens to my lens, it happens to the $30 filter that I can screw off before my whole lens is damaged and ruined. Their actual purpose is to help diffuse light. So in certain situations you can't really see it because I don't have any kind of harsh light, but maybe you can see it on here. You see how there's like a soft glow around the light? It kind of looks very cinematic. Well, it does look very cinematic. That's the purpose of it. And it also helps with like skin textures to smoothen them out and just make everything look smoother and more cinematic. And in my opinion, it's just a tiny thing that makes it a little bit more aesthetic, and it protects my lens, so it's a 2-in-1. I have them on all my lenses. Something else that I always have on my lenses is a variable ND filter. There'll be a million videos about a variable ND filter, what it does and why you need it. A brief overview if you're not familiar already. It's basically sunglasses for your lens. If you're someone that's into video, it's something that I definitely recommend you research and see if works for you. I think in 99% of situations, it is good to have a variable ND filter as a videographer. They are pretty cool and work extremely well at enhancing and that wasn't the right word, and making your footage more cinematic in the daytime. I use this one by Nisi. It's the TrueColor 1-5 stop, and I picked it up in Japan also. I absolutely love this thing. It's crystal clear. There's a little bit of vignetting on the side, but I almost kind of like it stylistically. I know the video and camera purists out there probably hate that about it, but I really love it. And it is something that I see on a lot of high level videographers using, is the Nisi range. So for me, it's been great. However, if you are looking to save money, I originally started with the K&F Concepts ND filter. It's about half the price. And is it as good? No. Is it something you can immediately tell the difference on if you're not experienced and totally know what you're looking at? I wouldn't say so. I got away with using this until I upgraded my camera, and there was never any comments saying, hey, you've got vignetting, you've got an X on your screen. Like, there was never any of those comments. It looked perfectly fine. I just think in terms of taking the next step, this is a good one to do. And the last thing that comes in when we talk about the camera and everything that entails is audio. My go-to shotgun mic of choice that basically lives on top of my camera is this one. It is the Sony, I always get this wrong, let me Google it real quick. It's the Sony EC-MM1 multi-directional shotgun mic. And I like this for a plethora of reasons, mainly because it's so simple to use. I first got this when I started getting into cinematography, videography, using this camera, and there was so much I needed to learn about this camera, so much I needed to learn about lenses. This was amazing because all you do is connect it to the hot shoe, plug it in. You don't have to worry about wires, you don't have to worry about batteries. It connects right through your hot shoe into your camera. The camera powers it, the camera controls everything. You put it in auto. On the back here, there's a couple of different settings that control the direction of the noise. So if I'm behind the camera, I can turn it to me. In front of the camera this way, I can turn it to the other way. I can turn it to 360. You can do all that. However, there's also a setting of just auto, which I've left it in the whole time I've owned it, never touched it, and it's never done me wrong. I don't think I've ever had audio back that's been peaking, didn't sound good, didn't sound clean, didn't sound crisp. It's an absolute beast. It's a little bit on the expensive side, but if you do want to get a microphone, this thing's lasted me almost 2 years now, never let me down. There's nothing worse than finishing a shoot, finishing a video segment, and your audio doesn't sound good and the clips are basically unusable. On that point, let's get onto the second audio source that I use, the DJI Mic 3s. Now, let's pause for story time real quick. I said this video is taking me forever to make. When I first got this microphone set up was when I first recorded the last time I tried to shoot this. And I'll preach to you guys whatever it is, whether it's a camera, tripod, audio, filters, lenses, whatever it is. When you buy it, take it out in the field, use it indoor, outdoor, harsh lights, good lights, noisy, not noisy, use it everywhere and seek mistakes. Try make it fail so that you know what its weak spots are. Try make it do well so you know what its strong suits are. If you can fix the weak parts, fix them. If you can work towards the strong suits, work towards the strong suits. Get to know your gear as soon as possible and as fast as possible so that you can use it to the best of its ability. And that's the same for any gear that you ever get. And I didn't take my advice when I got these. I unboxed them, I put it on my hat, and I got straight to work. And I sat down for an hour and filmed this video talking about the gear I use. I went through everything A through Z, and I put it on my computer. At the end, I started editing it, and all the audio was peaked, all the audio was unusable, and I couldn't use it, so I had to reshoot the entire thing. However, that's not a knock on the microphones, that's a knock on me. I had the settings wrong, I didn't set them up properly, they weren't adjusted to how I need them to be adjusted. Since doing that, I've had no problems. These things are absolutely amazing. I used to have the DJI Mic 2s, which are also great, and if I'm completely honest, I know that there are, and you'll have to look at some other tech videos to give you a full understanding of what exactly they are, but I know there are upgrades in these microphones. However, I thought the DJI Mic 2s were just fine quality wise. I simply made the upgrade to these ones purely for form factor. This microphone is absolutely tiny. It's currently on my hat right now, and I take these everywhere. I use them a lot when I'm out in public, when I'm in situations where I don't want this microphone picking up all the surrounding noise, when I'm a little bit further from the camera, or just when I want my voice to be isolated. I use them a lot. They're usually on my hat, which I really appreciate the form factor being a little bit smaller. One, so it doesn't look like a massive microphone on my head. Not that the other ones did, I just think they stood out a little bit too much. It was blatantly obvious when I was recording in places, so that got me the, hey, no recording here, just a little bit quicker than it does now. And I just think they're a lot comfier. One thing that is great is the battery life's a little bit longer, so you don't have to worry about turning them on and off all day. And yeah, if you are looking for microphones, I would recommend both the DJI Mic 2 or the DJI Mic 3, just depending on your budget. You can't really go wrong. These things have been great to me so far, except the last video, which was my mistake. So technically, I wasn't great to myself. And one thing that I can't overemphasize enough is as the video continues, and even probably up to this point now, you will notice that this sounds like a lot, because it is a lot. And I don't want it to be intimidating for you if you are just looking at getting into videography. I don't want it to be intimidating to you if you are just looking into starting content. I don't want you to see this video and think, that's what I have to get into content. I know a plethora of people in content creation that are absolutely killing it, that are doing insanely better than me, that are doing 10x, 50x, way better than I'm doing and finding way more success than I am finding on content, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it may be, and just use their phone and CapCut, the free version. They don't have a big elaborate process. They don't have lenses, microphones. They don't have all this stuff. And people will say all the time, it's not about your gear, it's about how you use it. And that couldn't be any more true. When you start content creation, you don't need this. And even when you're doing content creation and it's taking off, you still don't need this. The reason I have it is because one, I enjoy it, and two, I kind of like learning about this stuff. I like learning how to use a new camera. I like learning how to make a shot look a certain way and be beautiful and do all that stuff. And at the end of the day, we all have bad habits. We all have addictions. I guess mine is camera equipment, so sue me if that's the case. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't gamble, but I spend a heck of a lot of money on camera gear and clothes and shoes. We all have our vices. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there because I don't want it to come across as this is what you need to get started. You don't need any of this. Cameras nowadays are perfectly good enough on a phone. You just need an idea, you need an imagination, you need a creative drive, you need a willingness to learn. Even me, someone that likes cameras and cares a lot, I am so uneducated in the world of cameras. I probably use my phone to 20% of its capacity. I definitely don't use this camera to its capacity. So it's something that I'm constantly learning, something that I'm constantly evolving, and investing an hour, 10 hours, 100 hours in your craft, in your knowledge, is way better of an investment than investing $1,000, $100, whatever it may be. That financial investment is not going to be as good as the skill set investment. So if you want to improve, if you want to take the first step or the 50th step, I would advise that it happens within yourself. It happens on YouTube, learning things. It comes from asking questions to these big creators that have tried and tested methods and processes and equipment and systems that they've done for a while that have been proven to be successful. Going on YouTube, looking at tutorials, learning how to color grade, learning how to edit, how to use certain softwares, how to use a camera, what settings up. It comes from learning all that stuff, and that will go way further than any $100, $200 that you can spend in the camera gear will get you. All right, I was rambling. I'm a little bit out of breath. Let's talk about what goes under and around and everything else that is not the camera that I use for equipment when I'm shooting content. First thing that I think is very important, even if you're just using your phone and not an actual camera, whatever you're using to shoot content, a tripod. You may recognize this guy. It's the Peak Design travel tripod, and I actually just got it a couple of weeks ago. And one thing to know about this tripod is it is extremely expensive. Is it great? Yes. Is it portable? Yes. Does it look good? Yes. Is it trustworthy? Yes. Is it worth $400? No. But consumerism got me. Now, a tripod is essential to have. You're currently standing on the tripod that I've used for almost 2 years now. It's never really let me down. There's a couple of things I would like to change about it if I was being super really picky, but it never caused me any trouble. It was super lightweight and it traveled well. It's the Sunpak Travel Light Pro tripod, and I think it's about $160. And did I need to upgrade to this? No, it was kind of just a treat myself purchase. There are some things that it does a little bit better. It folds up to a way smaller profile. I do like the way the plate works on the top with the easy quick lock system and the rollerball system that it's got up top. I do like that. It comes with a little tool on here so you can keep all the stuff tight. These flaps don't come undone or loosen. They're very reliable. And it's just a little bit more sturdy and trustworthy, especially when you have such a large investment on top of it. And that's not to say I didn't trust my old tripod, I did. But since using this, going back to that, it feels less premium. And I'm not gonna dog on it, I'm not gonna speak down on it because it did just great. And if you are someone that's looking at getting a tripod, even if you're at step 50, even if you're an intermediate to advanced videographer that's looking for a tripod, I would definitely recommend getting that one. This was definitely a treat myself purchase. It wasn't something that I needed, it was something that I wanted. If you are looking at get one, they're cool, they're great. I will warn you, don't expect it to be absolutely game changing. At the end of the day, it's just a tripod that keeps your camera up. Also on the topic of tripods and how important they are, this is a small rig tripod and I genuinely don't know what it's called. I got it about 2 weeks before I left for Japan. I actually got it for Japan and for traveling. It is the smallest and the most lightweight tripod I've ever had. And that one's great, but traveling around with this guy every day is a little bit more hassle than traveling around with this guy. I can put this guy in my pocket, it fits in every single bag I own. And yes, it doesn't have the capability to stretch and do all these funky positions and hold all this weight that this one does. But if you're in a cafe, a restaurant, a library, outside on a table, getting coffee, whatever it is, and you just want to put your tripod down without this big scene, this big event, you just want to stand it up, this guy's absolutely great. It's got a nice little ball head on the top that moves around, no worries. It even just squeaks over into portrait mode, so you can use it a little bit for that. And it was super cheap, it was less than $20. Bang for buck wise, this was great. Something that I'll keep in my camera bag all the time. And on the topic of tripods, mounts, stands, these two are two of the best purchases that I've made in camera equipment history. This is the newer suction cup, and it has like a piston system on the side that kind of sucks the air out, and it has a line that lets you know when it's fully attached. I use it on windows in cars, I use it on windows at home, fridges, you name it. This thing sticks to anything that is like that glassy texture and is responsible for some of the coolest shots that I've got. And I trust this with my life, literally my life, probably a bit more than I should trust it. I use it on the inside, the outside of cars, everywhere. But it hasn't let me, I'm not gonna say that. There's some things in this video that I don't wanna give the curse or bad superstition to by saying that they've done and never let me. But let's just say I like this guy. Sturdy, twists well. It has this ability to like turn around the plate at the top like a tripod. This head goes everywhere. You screw it into your camera. Does all the good stuff. I really think it's something that you should look at if you want to get those cool angles. Talk about cool angles. This thing here is the best bang for buck thing that you can buy in the camera industry, in my opinion. And it's a small ring Magicam. This thing is, I believe, less than $15, and it's got a clamp on the end. How you use it is whether it's a fence, a pole, a cupboard, a door, a street, whatever it is. If it's got anything that fits in here, it can grip onto it. So you attach it onto it, And then you have the ability to move this camera arm anywhere that you want to use it, whether it's in, out, round, whatever it may be. You can get the craziest angles ever with this thing. You can get the POV angle, where it's like carrying the item and you've got the camera following it round. That's how you get there. You can also attach it to like shopping carts and get like the driving angle of like rolling wheels, you in the cart. I use this so much. And once again, it is super small, fits in basically my hand, in my pockets, in almost every camera bag I have. So it goes everywhere with me. It's an essential. Oh yeah, and outside the cameras that I use typically, like my typical workflow, I have action cameras like the Insta360 X4, which is great, skiing, snowboarding, getting those cool type of shots. I have a drone, which is currently in the car. Nope, it's not, it's up there. This guy is the DJI Mini 4 Pro. And I absolutely love this thing. Does it have its moments? Yes. Did it fly into a window earlier this year and be demolished and I had to rebuy a new one? Yes. But at the end of the day, it's on the cheaper end of drones. It does so many things well. Everything comes with a little comes with this little control remote thing that you carry with it. All goes in this nice little small bag and I take it with me a lot of places. Drone shots are amazing. I love drone shots. I need to get back to my drone shots. I've been slacking on the end, partly because the new place that we moved to is right next to an airport, so I can't fly it here. But I do need to get out and get some more drone shots more often because they look sick. That's how I get those. And before we completely step away from the camera gear, I will say these batteries, oh my gosh, we're not focusing. These batteries that go in my Sony or whatever camera you have, I have about 7 of them. Get as many batteries as you can comprehend. If you have 1, get 2. If you have 2, get 3. If you have 3, you get the point. Just get loads of them because there's nothing worse than being somewhere, seeing something, and you're like, this is sick, but I don't have any battery in my camera. Or finally getting to where you need to go, flicking the switch, and it says 0% because you forgot to charge it. Like, having backups on backups that have backups for their backups is essential when it comes to batteries. Just get loads of them. It's way less hassle, talking from experience. Oh, and there's actually one more thing that I have been using. Let me move this out the way. One more thing that I have been using in terms of holding my camera, and that is this guy. It's a C-clamp. So it has this thing on the bottom. You just stand it up. You unhook this and use it how you want it. As you can see, Magicam, small rig, have these things everywhere. Trust me, I'm not lying to you. And you can use it to go up, down. This goes down flat, it goes across, it goes out, wherever you want to do it. The main reason I use this is I have 2 of them. One of them I use a lot for like that, you know, the typical like fit video, like get ready with me, like high angle type stuff. Anything that's like looking down, top down unboxings, I can swing it this way and put it like over my desk so I can do like a desk unboxing. I want to start doing some of those more often. And I also have one that's currently downstairs, my girlfriend's using it, that has the light on it. And I guess that's another thing to discuss is lighting. The lighting that I use it's called the Godox SL100D. And back to the point of being an expert, lighting is something that I'm far from an expert on. So when I got it, I did a little bit of Googling. I don't need anything insane. I don't need it to do cool effects, crazy different temperatures, light, like I don't need to do anything crazy. It's just an attempt to replace the daylight when I'm filming at night. In the winter, these shorter days are difficult to film on, so I have this for that purpose, and it's great. I absolutely love it. I have a lantern on the front. That kind of just softens the light. It gives me the effect that is not like the glaring, there is a lamp pointed at this guy effect. It kind of just looks like regular daylight in the room, which I really like. And it doesn't take crazy expertise, 1, because I don't have them, and 2, because I just want it to be simple and a streamlined process. It doesn't take any crazy expertise or any of that stuff to get started with and use well. I really love it. It's on top of a C-stand. It's what I use to light videos when I'm filming in the afternoon or in low light situations. All right, I stepped outside. I did it for effect. Segment 2, what do I carry with me every day? All this camera gear is well and good, and there's a load of it. There's so much of it that can get confusing. So much of it that you use 10% of your time. Some of it use at home, some you use on the road. But day to day, when I'm vlogging, what do I actually take with me every single day? Let's talk about it. That's homemade beaten pomegranate juice. It's got a couple other things in there. That's good soup. Also, let's take a little moment for the California sunset. Let me adjust the aperture a little bit here. You see that? That's why rent's so high. It's December. I'm out here in a t-shirt and the sunset looks chef's kiss. So in the bag, first things off, the bag is important. This is a Uniqlo side bag. It was about 25 bucks and I figured this out just the other day. This thing is the perfect size. It has 2 pockets on the front, padded, I must say, not like throw it against the wall padded, but like a little bit of padding in case you brush something. Inside it's got 2 more pockets here and a laptop sleeve right here on the front. On the side, it's got like a zip and you can open this to put whatever you need in here. And on the other side, it's got the exact same thing with a pin. So if you need a water bottle, whatever it is, sometimes I put my tripod in that side, whatever it may be, it's perfect. Now, in the middle, I have a camera cube. That is this padded orange thing. And the reason I got it is to turn this bag into a camera bag so that you have your segments, you have everything like you would in a normal camera bag. And the reason I like this as a camera bag and the reason this is my daily camera bag is, one, it doesn't ruin my out. Let me back up a little bit so you can see the full picture. Like, it doesn't look like I'm like a tech guy that's got like a big like camera backpack. It doesn't look like that. It just kind of works with the fit. And two, part of just like working with the fit means that I don't look like I have $5,000 of camera gear on my body, which is great because a typical camera bag that basically says camera bag just screams, come rob me. And if you're watching this video and you see me out in the street with this bag, please don't try rob me. One, it's not morally correct. And two, there's a little segment in here that we're not going to talk about. It's contents. Because it might be a little in case you try to on me. I'm just joking. So in this camera bag that's not a camera bag, but now it's a camera bag, I have my spare lens, the 28 to 72.8 Sigma that we talked about downstairs. That is in one of the segments. The middle segment is my camera segment. Obviously it's not in here because you're on it. In the next segment, I have these two guys, the SmallRig Magic Arm and the mini little tripod. That tucks away nicely. And then in the front, I have my variable ND. That goes with me everywhere, like I said. And in the other pocket, I just have generic things. I have a little charger for my phone. I have a little bit of hand cream, some cologne. You smell bad and your hands are crusty. So make sure you carry those two things. Sorry, I didn't mean for that to get personal. That's my fault. And yeah, it is super simple. If I'm in the car, maybe I'll take my drone with me too. I also take this tripod that you're on right now. Like I said, the good thing is about it being a little bit more compact is it fits side to side across the top. So I have everything in the cube and I can lay the tripod across the top, zip it up, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So it works perfectly and it's a system that I'm evolving like all the rest of this is. But for now, this is like the perfect little everyday carry situation that I've got going on, which is important to develop. And if you don't have it already, I would suggest thinking about what you can condense. And when you're looking at getting all this gear, the aim of the game with the gear is to make your process as streamlined and as efficient as possible. Your gear should never limit you. So I talk about how I bought this camera. Yes, it's an upgrade, but what I found is that sometimes my last camera limited me. When I was in low light, when I was on the go, I was a little bit limited in terms of what I could shoot. So the reason I upgraded was to remove that limitation. I got this tripod because the last one didn't fit in these bags and it limited the bags that I could take or the times that I could take the tripod. So I got this one to remove that limitation. If you're a content creator that wants to vlog and wants to get out in the world and do all things, the last thing you should be thinking about is changing your life to fit your camera. Your camera and equipment should change to fit your life. And that's how you give the truest, most authentic vlog-like feel to your content. Your camera should just come with you on whatever you're doing. It should be the least limited possible. If that means downgrading your camera so you can get a small camera, if that means not taking a camera and learning how to shoot on your phone so you can take that everywhere and it's more easy and accessible, then you do that. Whatever it is that makes your process more simple or more effective to you is the most important when you're vlogging. When you're inside or you're in a studio or you have that flexibility, it doesn't always matter about efficiency and all those type of things because you can control everything. You can control the light, you can control the time, you can reshoot things. When something happens in real life, you have to be quick, you have to be on it. You don't have time to reshoot or relive a moment. And yes, there are times you will have to sacrifice. Like right now, I would love for you to be able to see me and see this beautiful sunset. I mean, I guess that kind of works, but you get the point. There are times where sacrifices need to be made, but the more you can limit those sacrifices and the less of them you can have, the more authentic, easier, and consequently, the more content you will shoot. If it becomes a chore, if it becomes difficult, it will be less enjoyable. That will one show in your content, and it will slow down your consistency. It will increase your burnout. All those unenjoyable things that we hate about content that we don't wish existed. We just want to do the fun stuff and we just want to enjoy it. That's everything for outside. That's the daily carry with me. Let's go back inside and talk about the process that I use after I finish filming, after I get the content. What do I do with it then? Let's go. All right, so we're back in the office, and now it's about everything that happens after you've got the shot, after I've got the video, after I've filmed all the footage. What do I do now? First thing that I do is I plug my memory card in and I transfer my data to one of two things. It initially goes onto this. This is the SanDisk Extreme Portable SSD 4 terabyte. Everything that I'm currently working on, whether it be YouTube, client, personal, whatever it may be, it's on this guy. Once this is full, I move that to one of these. I've got about 5 of these, and I actually just ordered a expansion drive that is 20 terabytes that's gonna live on my desk that I can put on, because I wanna keep this footage forever. I wanna be able to look back on the YouTube video I made 5 years ago, 5 years from now. So when I'm not using content and I'm done with it, it all goes on here in case I need to make videos with flashbacks, old footage, just so that I can keep everything. It goes on one of these guys and it will go on my big expansion drive. But day to day, they stay on these ones. This is what I use for current editing. It goes right onto my laptop. It's super fast, convenient, and compact. This is great. So it goes onto that, and then I start editing. I'm using the MacBook Pro M2. Great laptop, I love it. I do need to upgrade at some point, just because it kind of struggles when I start running Premiere, After Effects, YouTube, all that stuff at one time. But my whole ecosystem of my desk with my monitor is work in progress. It's something that's still being developed. One, because I just moved here, and two, because I'm not exactly a tech wizard, so I don't really know my way completely around the ins and outs of a computer, what works, what doesn't work well. I don't know. It's something I'm still learning, but I'm working on that. So all my stuff goes onto my hard drive, and that's where the editing begins. I run the Adobe suite, Adobe Premiere Pro, a little bit of After Effects. That's what I use. I know the whole hype around DaVinci Resolve. It's something that I would love to learn. Right now, I have too much going on, too many projects to afford to mess up some projects. And you know how I spoke about the whole mess things up a couple times, make it work. DaVinci is a decent chunk of learning, and at some point I do want to make that jump and learn, because I know how good it is when it comes to grading, effects, certain things like that. It's kind of the next step. But to me, in my brain, it's way too confusing right now to be something that I have the time or capacity to learn. Right now, Adobe Premiere Pro has been absolutely great to me. It's what I've always used. It's never let me down. After Effects is something that I'm just stepping into, and that's a whole world still yet to explore, so I'm excited for whatever comes in that. That's a suite that I definitely recommend. Like I said earlier in the video, it's not something that you need. I have friends that make a lot of money and are very successful that just use CapCut. And if you can get away with that and it looks good and works fine, use it. It's cheaper, it's easier. Simplify your process. Don't do this just to say you do it. If you need to do it, do it. But if you don't, just do the simple route. Like, there's no pride, there's no extra money, there's no extra followers for using a software to do the same thing as you would have been able to do on a free software. Just use CapCut if you can. It's easy, it's free, it's simple, use it. If not, if you are looking to level up and take those edits to the next level, hop into Premiere Pro. I recommend. Talk about research and learning. Something that I am learning is my color grading and my LUTs. Everyone keeps talking about what LUTs do you use, like what's your color grade? I really like the colors and how they look. I appreciate that. That's a high compliment. It's kind of like the you smell good compliment. It's something that is always great to receive, but it comes with the constant thought that I have all the time of I'm not happy with where it's at. There's so many people out there that are absolutely killing the color grading game, and I watch their videos and I'm just in awe of the colors. And if I'm honest, it's something that I'm 50-50 about completely changing and doing a 180 on my color system. Not so it looks bad, so it just looks different and looks in a different, I don't know. I'm not going to get into that right now because I'm still up in the air on how I want to go about doing that. But my color grading, my LUTs, what I use are still in development. There's a lot of times I use them and they come out wrong. A lot of time I use them and I don't like how they look. So I want to get those over to you guys so that you guys can access them, you guys can use them. But I first need to figure out exactly how they work, finish off the last final touches and make sure that you get the best product there is so that it's easiest for you and best for you, so that I've made all the mistakes on the front end and you can have the final result. So That is something further later down the line that I do want to do, but for now it is definitely work in progress. One thing that I have added recently and use absolutely religiously is this guy. It is the Rode Pod Mic, and I use it when I'm in the editing process. Short form, I use it all the time for voiceover stuff, and there's a little bit of stuff I use on this account for voiceovers, but it's amazing. I put it on this little articulating, I think is the word, arm, so it goes in and out whenever I need it. I'm working on my laptop, I can just quickly punch in and out with that, and it works really well. I absolutely love that little system that I've got going. But yeah, I would kind of say that is everything that I use start to finish when I'm creating content, gear, process, everything. I mean, I'm sure there's something I've forgotten. Hit me with it in the comments and I'll be happy to answer that too. But I'm glad I could get this out there, glad I could help you with the questions that you have and hopefully shed some light or some insight on your process, my process. Maybe I can help with something. That would be great if I could. I want to re-emphasize for the third time in this video how important it is to not worry about all this stuff. Don't let it bog you down. This is not what you need. This is just what I use. There are hundreds of thousands of successful creators that make things that look 10 times as good as mine, that are a million times more successful than me, that use a quarter of this equipment. They might just use their iPhone. You don't need all this stuff. I've got a bit of a problem, but on the same hand, it works really well for me. I love it. I'm still learning how to do it. I'm still learning my process. I'm still refining things. I'm still upgrading things. I'm still downgrading things that I don't need to use, making sure that I can be the best version of me as a creator that I can possibly can, and bring you guys the best final product that I can possibly bring you guys. So this is all the process that is still in the works, will forever be in the works, will be something that I'm always trying to improve. I would like to think I've done a decent job, and I am happy with myself for the content that I've been putting out, but I'm excited for where it's about to go and the next steps it's going to take content wise. On the topic of next steps, the reason this video was created is because people kept asking questions about this and I wanted to give you guys an answer. If you have any questions about anything, you have any interesting ideas for videos, whatever that may be, let me know. Jump in the comments. You guys do a great job of that. It is a blessing, despite only having 1,500 subscribers. I say only, but for me, that is absolutely amazing. I'm so happy with it. But not only is it 1,500, it is a fantastic 1,500. And you guys interact so much. You like the video, you comment, you do all that stuff. I couldn't be more grateful for the group that I've created. I thank you guys for your continued support, and I hope that I can pay you back with consistency, effort, energy in videos, and I make it worth your watch time. So thank you so much. You guys already know the deal. It's outro time, so as you can see, I'm just getting to yapping and rambling. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.